First of all, let me give you a brief introduction about who is MPOWER and what we are offering. So at MPOWER, I'm very proud to say that we want to empower international students like you to fund your overseas education independently. With this objective in mind, the products we are offering is very different from the traditional banks and many other lenders. We offer student loans of up to $100,000 to each student without cosigner or collateral. We can do this because we use an innovative method to review and approve your loan application. Instead of focusing on your past financial history or your family's financial situation, we evaluate your future earning potential based on your academic performance to approve your application. For example, we want to review your GPA, your major, and so on. And I want to tell you that what makes MPOWER different. And please, my coworker, please share the screen for me. And I want to share the slide one that I prepared for you. Yeah. As you can see from left to right, there are three features that I'm very proud of that MPOWER is offering. The first one is no cosigner or collateral required. This allows you to apply independently without involving your family. Our unique credit model evaluates your academic performance to estimate your future earning potential, which is a very different approach compared to traditional banks. And the second feature I want to introduce to you is that we offer fixed interest rate. We are the only company in the world that provides fixed interest rate to international students without a cosigner. Fixed interest rate means your rate remains the same throughout the entire time while you repay the loan. Even if the global interest rate increase, we are definitely currently living in a situation that global interest rate is increasing, but your rate with MPOWER will not increase. This makes financial planning easier for you since your payment will not change over the long term. And the third feature that I want to introduce is that we directly disperse the US dollar in funding to your school, meaning with an MPOWER loan, you do not need to risk arriving overseas with less US dollars or Canadian dollars than you thought you are. Sounds fantastic, right? I think you please and share the screen. So we definitely offer a fantastic product, but luckily I'm not the only one that is proud of our product. We have our student ambassador, Nikhil, here today to share with you his experience with MPOWER. So Nikhil, I want to start from the beginning. Like, why do you decide to pursue an international education?
So, pursuing international education will be everyone's dream, actually. So maybe if you will fulfill that with the right approach and the right decisions, probably. So it all started with my work experience and when I was calculating the return on investment with respect to abroad education. So along with that, I have my career challenges as well during my work. And I always passionate, wanted to be a data scientist going ahead in my career. And that's where I started looking for international educations. And when I was calculating on return on investment, I found MPOWER way of approach and helping the students in building their careers. It all comes into my picture as well. So it's been a rewarding decisions, as I can say, because when I calculated on the return on investment with respect to education in United States, along with that, whatever the career aspirations I have, both are fulfilled with this.
Nice, nice. So you have already enrolled in Clark University, right, in the US. So how's your experience so far?
It's been like a very good journey so far, I can say, but it started with ups and downs. So it tested my resilience at times, and so moreover, currently where I am, I'm satisfied. The welcoming atmosphere at the Clark University and the local aides here, it's always good to see. And also One aspect I would say would be challenging is cultural differences. So where from India we come here, leaving the family, everybody, right? So that's the major cultural differences will be coming across. And but we should be we should be ready for the challenges, because these are smaller challenges when we have certain goals ahead.
Yes, yes. Culture different, definitely. That I was an international student myself, and I also experienced that. It's very different if you come from Asia and then you're in the US. Um, and I want to know, you said that you experienced some challenges, while you're preparing to study abroad. Definitely funding is one of the major challenges. This is why you come to MPOWER. So I want to ask you that, what about the MPOWER loan that makes sense for you? Why do you choose MPOWER?
Yes. So I'm an analyst by profession. So when I was, as I told, I was calculating the return on investment, and the financial calculation was a big part of this study abroad dreams. So when I was researching about the financial loans from my local lenders as well, along with Empower. So I found that that major difference I came across was with fixed rate of interest, and also collateral and no collateral and no co-applicant, which is the which is a very good sign for any international student, because uh, with collateral you are always at risk, and with the variable rate of interest you're always at risk, because you never know how the market is going to change, and lender will always be uh, like well, lender will always be no with no pressure when you are with the variable rate of interest. So that's where I analyze these situations, and help Empower got I got to know about Empower's student abroad loans, where it was easier for me to transition along with the application process, and coming to US, and everything went very smoothly once I take up that decisions. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. I also really like the feature of a fixed rate that we are offering. You know exactly what you sign up for. This is very important, and your rate will not change over the time. If you get a variable interest rate loan, and you definitely are putting yourself in a situation that you do not know that how much your payment will be next month, and that does not sound reassurance for me. Um, and so you've already enrolled in school like for a couple months or like a year. And do you have any advice to the aspiring international students are here today? And what would you want to tell them?
Yes. So it's been like 3 months already in the United States, near to Boston, and as I mentioned, I am liking the atmosphere, welcoming atmosphere from local aides along with the Clark University, everybody. So I wanted to tell to international students that embrace every opportunity that comes in your way, because uh, you are here for professional development as well as your personal growth. Take it as a challenging decisions, and never settle for smaller things. And keep one more thing I wanted to suggest is get out of your comfort zones, because that's where you start knocking every opportunity that comes in your way, and start interacting with more people. Either it can be for internships or for event organizing in your university. So for anything, just take every step as a challenging decisions. And also, one more thing I wanted to tell is there are three important aspects in United States, along with your communication skills and the resume building, everything for job approach. So that is network, and again network. So these are the three things that I've learned once I've landed here, and I would suggest the small hiccups that comes in your way, do not take into your hearts. Just focus on your end result, and have a good career here. That's what I wanted to say.
Thank you, Nikhil, for the really good advice to our aspiring international students. Very insightful. Um, and I will turn to Rini for now, and I will invite Nikhil back later. So you have more time to listen to his study abroad journey. So Rini, Nikhil just introduced us some features that makes him to choose Empower. So is there any other loan terms that you want to introduce to us that you feel that our audience should know?
Absolutely. Most of it is already covered by Nikhil, but just to brush upon that once again, I would just I'm just going to go back to fixed and a variable rate of loans, right? I'm not sure if all of us are aware of it. So a fixed rate of loan, it assumes the risk. What you need to understand is the economy is always fluctuating. It's volatile in nature. And if you do not have a fixed rate of return, or sorry, a fixed rate of loan, the variability would impact the repayment that you would be making back to any lender. So a fixed rate helps you, safeguards you against any fluctuation in the economy, and also helps you plan well in advance your future days, future weeks, future months, or whatever payments that you need to do, right? So the fixed and the variable rate of interest is something that is very important from the student aspect of it, especially when you're leaving your comfort zone and going into a new place where everything is new for you. You need to be sure, you need to be planning well in advance, like Nikhil did, as to how much would I be spending, what would be my repayment, what would I spend on my daily expenditures, what would be my financials for my studies. So this aspect, the fixed rate, helps you in planning and also safeguards you. I want to emphasize on that fact that it safeguards you against any fluctuations in the economy. The second one, and that Nikhil also touched upon, was the collateral and cosigner. And this is personally very close to me because I used to be an aspiring international student, but I could not leave because I would be relying on my mother to co-sign for the loan that I would have to take. It was back in the time, but I wish Empower was around back then. But yeah, to get back to the point, so no cosigner. The cosigner is actually liable to repay the loan in case if you're unable to repay. So it's a financial burden not only on you, but also on the cosigner, hence making it really difficult to find a cosigner unless they are your relatives. And a lot of people who think emotionally, especially, would not want to put that burden on your loved ones, right? So that independence factor comes into picture there. The second one is the collateral. You might have a car or a house that you can, give as a collateral, but not everyone might possess that. And imagine if you have provided that as a collateral, and in case of non-repayment of the loan, the bank repossesses it and to repay the balance of the loan, and which is again something that none of us want, right? So no collateral and no cosigner gives you a lot of independence to repay your loan and get the education that you need. The third one that I want to introduce is the prepayment charges. Now, say you have completed your education, you took a loan from any of the lenders, you completed your education, and you're in a good place to repay your loan. You just want to close the loan and do away with the repayments that you have to make every month and free up some amount for yourself. Now, all of this is made possible with Empower, where we do not charge you any prepayment charges. When it comes to other lenders that I also, shopped around and looked at, there are some prepayment charges that would be levied from you, 2%, 5%, 10%. The number differs from lender to lender, but what we believe is if a student, and like we look at the future potential, Silver also mentioned that our algorithm looks at the future potential of you, and we do not rely on your past experiences or your past financial strength, but what future brings to you. So we are all here. Empower helps you to prepay your loan without any additional charges. Yeah, that would be all from my end, I think.
Thank you, Rini. Yes, we are definitely a future forward-looking company that we look at your future, not your past. And Rini, so we have about 40% people today that they are still thinking about studying, and they would want to know about how can they plan their whole journey, right? Can you introduce a little bit about that? How should they plan the timeline, their school application, their loan application, and also their visa?
Absolutely. So I think I have a slide for that. Let me just go ahead and present it. Can you see my screen?
Yep, we can see your screen.
All right. All right. So I know it's a gruesome journey to, start thinking about studying. There's a lot of planning that goes into this. There's a lot of thought that goes into this. There's a lot of resistance that you yourself pose on it as an international student because of the financial burden that might come on to you. And this is a plan in making, maybe 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, even before you start applying for schools, right? So you have to decide which course you need to go to, where you are professionally right now, and what interests you, what do you want to be, in coming days, in next 5 years, and next 10 years. And all of these thoughts brings you to the point where it needs to be more fulfilling, and let me just go ahead and take advantage of the one of the best education systems in the world, move to US or move to Canada to get your higher education done. So usually after all of this planning, you need to start applying to the schools. You need to first shortlist the schools, understand which course you need to go to, and start applying to the schools between October and December. That's when usually the application deadlines are for most of the schools. And this is for fall intake. The fall intake is basically the next year, August to September. So for those period of time, you need to start applying for these schools. There are certain set of documents that the schools require. I think Nikhil would be able to help us better with that there. Once you have applied, it's a waiting game for all of us, because a lot of people do apply to one of the most sought after destination for the higher education. Mostly within January to April, you should be getting your admission letter. That is that you have been accepted to the program that you have applied for. Once you get the admission letter, I know the plan is already going on in your head. How do I finance my education? So you already start shopping around, and MPOWER also helps you, look at your eligibility well in advance. Even before you get your admission letter, we have a separate section where you can go ahead and check the eligibility or the amount for, I have applied but not received the admission letter, like the poll that we did in the beginning of the session. But as soon as you get your admission letter, you can go ahead and start applying with MPOWER. Just add on to that, in case if you get your admission letter before this period as well, MPOWER allows you to submit an application even 1 year in advance before you start your program, right? So once you have submitted your application, it goes through the process of looking at certain factors that we ask for just to make sure how your future potential would look like. And we provide you with financing and support letter or an approval letter based on how much would you require to complete your education. And that would be somewhere between February and May. If you, depending on when you have applied with us, we endeavor to come back to you within 5 to 7 calendar days, or unless there's any other delay, any other factor that's stopping your application, provided we have all the documents with us. And once you have the financial support letter from MPOWER, you can apply with the school for your I-20. The I-20 would be given to you by your school, and you have the financial support letter from us, which are the two most important documents for you to apply for your visa. And this will, once you have your visa interview and you've cleared your visa interview, once you get your visa, you can sign the final P note, the promissory note, which will include the terms of the loan that you have availed from MPOWER. You have the information of the application that you have submitted. You have the credit agreement in your promissory note, which tells you your rights as a consumer. So all of these documents are signed by you. And once we receive this document signed and accepted by you, we disperse the loan to your school before or right when you are due to start your program. And that's when you need to plan your travel and your program start. So I know this is a long process. It's almost a 1-year process that I'm just mentioning here. But the planning starts much before that. So these are the timelines that a typical international student follows.
Thank you, Rini. Thank you very much. Thank you for the detailed explanation about the whole journey. And now I want to give the stage to Suryaveer to walk us through the whole application process and how should we fill out our loan application?
Sure. Thank you, Silver, for that. So I would be sharing my screen. Just let me know if it is visible. All right. So I hope it's visible to everyone.
Yes, it's visible.
All right. So hi, everyone. So regarding the application journey, I have kept the steps very limited today. And I would also like to walk through regarding certain new queries that we are receiving. So we'll also walk through over those details. But let's just start with the first application creation touch point, where how to initiate an application with MPOWER and where you have to go for applying for a loan with MPOWER. So as soon as you apply, go to MPOWER website, you will have the option of check eligibility. And once you have clicked on that, you have to follow certain basic checks in order to verify and see whether your school or the program is eligible for MPOWER loan or not. Once you meet those eligibility criteria, then we go into the basic information section where we would ask you about the immigration status, your citizenship, your name and credentials. Once these details are done, then the third step is about, we would like to know what is the major you are attending, which school and university you are into. So these are the basic informations of school and employment you would need to provide. And one of the most important part as an international student is your financials. So as Rini discussed regarding how you have to plan your financial details. So this section will help you in terms of understanding, like, what is your tuition cost, what is the expectations of you in terms of loan, and is there any kind of financial support that you are getting in terms of scholarship or any sponsorship. And once these steps are completed, then you come to the ID upload and verification, and voila, your application gets submitted. It's just a quick summarized view of how the application walkthrough happens, but now I'll go into the detailing of it. Okay, so first thing, once you check your eligibility, we would like to understand what brings you to MPOWER. So there are many students who are being referred by our existing applicants, right? So there are students who are coming with Google search. There are students who are coming referred from universities or their friends. So we would like to know that, are you thinking about the study, or you've already been accepted into a program, or who has referred you, or how you have found MPOWER. So those are the pretty sections that usually we ask in the initial steps. Right now, what you see is we are asking you about, are you currently enrolled in the university, or you are planning to study, or what's your current education status like? So if you are just thinking about study and you have not yet been applied to any universities, then the first option would be the right one. And if you have applied for a school, but you have not received any kind of confirmation, either conditional or an acceptance from the university, the second option would be the best suitable here. But you have been accepted from a university, meaning that you have already received an admission letter or a conditional admission letter, but your program has not yet started, or you have not been into the university at the moment, then the third option would be the best suitable one. And if you are already an existing student, you are already in US or Canada, and you are applying for your next semester or any other semesters which are the remaining part of your program, the fourth option would be the best one. And if you are a transfer student and you are planning to complete the remaining part of your program in any of the supportive universities from Empower in US and Canada, then the last option would be the best suitable one. So accordingly to your preferences, you would need to select the right choice and proceed ahead. Just a quick information in advance, as Rini also shared regarding the admission letter, is that you can definitely submit an MPOWER loan application if you are just planning and if you have just thought about any universities. But in order to complete the application, or in order for MPOWER to provide you with any loan decision, we would definitely need the required documents in order to verify and proceed ahead. So if you are a person who has just thought about studying and you just wanted to check your eligibility, or you just wanted to check whether I would be eligible for MPOWER loan, and you have submitted the application but not yet uploaded the documents, the application will be remained on the same status. So just a quick info on that particular note. Now, once you have provided us these basic information, then we would be asking you about when you would be graduating. So as you are aware that one of our main eligibility criteria is that you should be completing the program within 2 years of the loan start date. So whenever you are applying for a loan, or whatever term you are applying, you should be graduating within 2 years. That is one of the basic eligibility criteria. So you would need to select here that, and then which program you are enrolled to. So if you are a master student, MBA, PhD, bachelor's, MD, LLM, according to your requirements, you have to select the best suitable option here. And you see that we are asking you about your current GPA. Now, this is specifically related to all the students who are currently in US and they are already enrolled students. So we would like to know how their academic performance are going on. And that's the reason we would be asking you about your GPA here. But if you are a first time applying for MPOWER loan and you do not have any existing GPA, then you can keep the option as blank. Now, once you move forward and you have provided your basic information, you can see here that the applicant mentioned his name, and that's the same name that is greeting you on the dashboard as well. So you would need to select like how you would like Empower to contact you and what would be your first and last name. So according to that, you would be mentioning the details here. And then we come to the steps 2, which is basic informations. So now we would definitely recommend you to select your passport country, meaning the citizenship you belong to. Now, there are certain cases where applicant holds the dual citizenship as well. So we would encourage you to provide here with the citizenship status that is more recent, and from where you can provide your documents and details as well for us to verify. Now, once you have selected your citizenship, and we would like to understand what is your permanent address. Now, when we ask you about your permanent address, it would always be your home country address that you are the citizenship of. So if you are currently staying with your family and you do only have your family address as your permanent address, there is nothing wrong in that. You can absolutely provide your permanent or your family addresses to us, and you would need to provide the relevant documents in support to that. And if you are currently staying in a temporary accommodation, we would also ask you about your current address once you have filled your permanent address. So once you have provided those details, you can also update your current address for better reach out. And we would definitely like to know how we would be contacting you. So you would need to provide us your correct mobile number, which you would be, which you would like us to reach you out on. So once these details are available and provided, we also have an option where you can select if you would like us to reach you out on WhatsApp. So that would be yes and no according to your preference. Once these details are completed, then we would like to understand about your immigration status. So if you are an international student, whether you are a permanent resident or a DACA student or an asylum seeker, we would like to understand your immigration status. So please select the right citizenship status because it helps us to proceed ahead with your application with a shortened term or shortened time. Because if there is any error in these information, we would need to go back and make certain adjustment which might take some time. So please select the best suitable option for you. And if you already have your visa, then please select yes. And if you do not have your visa, please select no. And what type of visa you would be applying for, you can select that as well here. So if you are an international student, mostly the type here would be F1. But if you are on a dependent or you are on a temporary, so you would have different visa options that would be available on the checkboxes. Once you have selected these information, then we would like to understand more details about your schools and your employment. So first, let's start with the school information. So once you selected that you are doing a specific program, like here we have selected masters. So we would like to understand what masters you are in. So what is your major in the master, whether your program is a full-time program or is it a half-time or part-time. We would also like to know whether your program is a STEM designated program or not. Now, by STEM, I mean science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So if you are enrolled in any of these fields and you would be eligible for STEM then, but if you're not sure, I would recommend to please reach out to your academic counselor to understand whether your program is a STEM program or not, and then proceed ahead with these steps. But if not, then you can select the best suitable option here as well. Now, again, we would like to know whether you are doing your program on campus, whether it's an online program or it's a hybrid program. Now, just in additional information for everyone who are applying for the first time for Empower Loan. Now, if you are going to US for the first time, and let's just say initially you have a hybrid program where you are starting with your initial semester as online, and then you would be completing the rest of the program in the campus in US or Canada. So we would like to inform you that since one of our most important requirement here is visa for making any disbursement to take place. So if you are doing an online program initially, we unfortunately won't be able to assist you for that particular semester. But that does not mean that you are not eligible. You would be eligible for the remaining part of your program that is in campus. But if you are a student who is already in US, in the school country, and you are doing a hybrid program where half of your program is online and half of the program you would be doing in campus, then you can absolutely apply for it because you would already have your visa in that situation. So once you have filled these information, the next step is we would like to understand the year of your program. So if you are a first year graduate, second year, and depending on your requirement, you would need to select the best suitable option. And you would see that we are again asking you about your GPA. So just wanted to remind that it's only for the people who are already an existing students or who have or being a transfer student will also work here. But if you're a first timer and don't have a GPA, you can keep the option blank. But if you are not able to continue with the application, you can select a 0 as a numerical value here if there is any error you are facing. But mostly we won't have those issues, so you can continue with keeping the option as blank. Now, once you have provided these details, we would also like to understand if you have given any kind of exam for applying for that school. So for example, a lot of students have to go through their language tests. So if you have given TOEFLs, IELTS, Duolingo, or if you have not given any program, or whether the program was, this exam was waived for you to get the admission. So depending on your best suitable option, you would need to select it. Again, if you have given any standardized exams like GRE, GMAT, AMCAT, so you would need to mention the scores if you have given. If you have not given, then you can proceed ahead without mentioning those details. Now, we would also like to know if you are currently employed or not. So if you are currently employed, definitely select the first option there. But if you are not employed, but you have been employed in past, so we would like to understand how much years of experience you would be bringing on the table for your education purpose. But that doesn't mean that if you do not have any employment history, what should I do, whether you would be able to proceed ahead or not. So that's not the case with MPOWER. If you do not have any employment history, that is absolutely fine, and you can select the third option and proceed further. Once these informations are being provided, then we come to step 4, so which is the most important and critical section in your application details. We would like to definitely understand what is the tuition requirement you have. Now, most of the student does one mistake here, which is calculating their requirements wrong. So most of the students try to provide whatever is the tuition for the entire program in this section. But as you see on the top, we have mentioned that we would like to understand your total estimated cost for one academic year. So we would request you to provide your tuition requirement as per one academic year, and rest all will be handled by our systems. So if you have your living expenses, or if you have any additional costs like health insurance, books and supplies, you can also mention that in these particular section and then click on next. Once these details are being provided, then we come to your requirements. So how much you would now like to request from MPOWER. So at the left side, you see that we have automatically calculated that what would be a total cost of tuition and how much additional funding if you are bringing. So let's just say you have your personal saving, or anyone in the family is supporting you with some finances, or you have a scholarship or a sponsorship given by the university or your employer. You can mention those amounts, and we would be requesting the supporting documents later on for that. And as you can see that if you want 40,000, 50,000 X number amount, you would need to put here. Now, just a reminder here that and this is one of another concern that we receive most of the time, that I can see that I can request $100,000 and it's not letting me through that, or I wanted $100,000 in the first semester itself. So I would like to notify here is that with MPOWER, definitely you can request a value of $100,000, but that would be limited to one academic year, which would be a collaboration of 2 semesters. So if you are just applying for 1 semester, the maximum that you can request for that particular semester would be $50,000. But if you are applying for an academic year, let's just say fall 2024 to spring 2025, so in that scenario, you can request the entire 100,000 in one application. But if you know your requirements better and you know that how much you would really like to request the specific amount, you can also mention that and click on agree and continue. Once these details are being filled, we come to one of the second last stage of the application, where we would like you to upload your ID and provide us with your verification details. So we would request you to provide the most suitable ID that is available with you from the choices given in the dashboard or in the application portal. So mostly, as you are an international student, we recommend you to provide your passport. But if you do not have your passport at the given stage and you have applied, but you have your driving license or national ID, you can also provide us those and submit your application. So once these steps are completed, you would get a notification that your application has been successfully submitted, and a dedicated relationship manager will reach out to you to guide you with the next steps. So that's all with the application process. So I also have another deck prepared for dashboard. Silver, just let me know if we should share it right now, or we'll wait for certain questions.
Please feel free to share it.
All right. So is my screen visible?
Yes.
All right. So everyone, we have now launched a new platform on our MPOWER website, and you would see a new way of dashboard, which will help you and ease out your journey with the application process and everything that lies afterwards. So I'll give you a quick overview how things work on the dashboard, and if you're facing any issues or concerns, how you can resolve it by yourself, and how would you be whom you need to reach, basically. So for example, let's start with the beginning regarding logging into your dashboard. So at the left side, you see that once you have registered with MPOWER portal and you have set up your password and everything, and whenever you will come again, you will be asked to provide your registered email ID and the password that you have selected. Now, in any circumstances, you are not able to log in right now by providing those details. I would encourage you to go ahead and reset your password if possible. And once you click on reset your password, you would be sent a link to your registered email address. And then on the right side that you see, you would be asked to select a new password and confirm your new password. Once these details are done, you would be able to log into your MPOWER dashboard mostly. Now, once this is done, you will be seeing the next screen here is to welcome to MPOWER dashboard. Now, we have provided various information on the dashboard itself, and I would like to guide you how to navigate through it. So at the left side, you will see a home button, which you would need to click, and you would be able to see a couple of details here, which I have given a brief on the left side of the screen, which means account summary, my applications, my loans, inactive applications, support center, refer a friend, and a few of other details here. Now, on the dashboard itself, you will always get an option to start a new application, which you can click. And if you are planning to submit another application for a different program or a university, you can use that process or flow. And right now that you see on the screen is my applications and my loans. Now, what are these two different things? Now, on my application, you would be able to see all your loan applications that you have submitted that are currently active, but not yet been disbursed. So anything that you have in any specific stage, whether it is under final review, whether you have received your approval, whether you have received your final loan documents, will lie under my application section. But once your application, you have e-signed your final loan document and we begin with the disbursement, then all those applications will be reflected under my loans. You can see here a couple of updates under my loans, and you would be able to see your application as well. Now, once this is done, uh, another important part here is that let's just say you checked your eligibility and you have created your credentials with MPOWER, but you were not able to submit your application at that moment. Then what's happened? What happened to that application? So all you just need to do is log into your MPOWER dashboard. As I said, under my application, it will be visible. You would need to click on that application and follow the next steps. So here, if you see, there are a couple of steps that we have already mentioned, and you would need to click one by one on each of them. So for example, complete application, you have to click that would be your first step. Then we would like to know how much loan amount you would like to request. If you have any additional funding or your financial details, you can mention under this section. We would also like to know which term you would like to apply for, so you can confirm your academic period here. So these are certain steps that you would need to complete. So whenever you go to any application, whatever you see under my next section is the required steps as an applicant you need to complete so that we can proceed further with your application process. Now, once you have provided all the details, you would need to verify your identity, as I explained in the application process as well. So you would like to know your first name, last name, date of birth, and which ID you would like to upload. Once you have uploaded those details, then we'll go to the second step. Now, if you are an applicant that belongs to one of the ANOVA countries, so we would ask you to complete your home country credit check. So this is how the screen would look here. This is one of the example of an Indian applicant. So once you have completed these steps, then your application gets submitted. Now, what you see on the screen is the next stage once the application has been submitted, and now you see the status to be blue, and now you would be asked to upload the required documents. So if you see here, we have an upload option, then you would need to upload the required documents, whatever is mentioned on the dashboard. And once these details are being filled and uploaded, your application goes to verification. Now, verification is basically the final review process. So our credit team would be looking into your details, and we would request you to allow us 4 to 5 working days basically in order to get back to you with an update on your application status. So I would like to cut this short today because of the time, but most probably these are the basic details that you have to walk through on the dashboard as well. We have a couple more details that we'll highlight in our next seminar. Thank you.
Thank you, Suryaveer. Thank you very much. Yeah, so we actually received many questions from our audience, and our Empower team is helping to answer your questions if you type your questions in the Q&A function. And we select some of the questions that we want to ask live. So this question is for Rini. This person asks that if we disperse, if he or she apply for the whole program, and when we disperse the loan, that do we disperse all at once, or do we disperse like in terms?
Absolutely. So like already Suryaveer mentioned, we allow you to apply for $50,000 for each term. And for your whole academic period, you can apply for $100,000 with us. There's a little bit of planning that goes on our and on the students' end as well to the amount that you are applying with Empower for. So what is required for each semester for you needs to be planned out by you, and you apply for that amount with Empower. There are a lot of advantages to that, but I'll not get into that as of now. But we support you for whole of your program, but the disbursement happens when your term starts, depending on which term have you applied for with us.
Thank you, Rini. I want to ask Nikhil a question, actually. So does Empower support students to apply for their visa?
Yes, Silver. So Empower, when we apply for the application and the application gets accepted, right? So at that time, we needed to show some funds for the university to get I-20. So we need support letter, which Empower is providing with no cost. So that is very much helpful for us, and which most of the banks doesn't provide you unless you get I-20 and made sure that you are completely into the process.
Thank you, Nikhil. Yes, Empower, we provide you the support letter, which can be used as a proof of funding for you to get I-20 if you go to the school in the US, and later the visa, and also you can use that to get your Canadian study permit too. Okay, as we approach the final moments of our webinar, I want to use 1 minute to show you 3 fantastic programs we offer to our students besides our loan. So Ukash, could you please share the screen for slide 2? Slide 2. Thank you, Ukash. So here are the 3 fantastic programs that we offer. The first one is Refer a Friend program, and we also have a merit-based scholarship program and also a Path to Success career service program to help you to build your careers. For the first one, I want to invite Nikhil to give us introduction. How do you refer a friend to Empower?
Yes. So there is a referral benefit from the Empower that is benefiting for the person who is taking as well as the person who is referring. So if you wanted to help some students the same situation that you are in currently and wanted to invite to Empower student loans, then this is the option where you can go to. There is simple process. There is a referral benefit that happens to be with the referral link. Based on that, if a student or if a person refers, gets referred, then they'll get benefited out of it. So it's a simple process. And can you navigate through Silver?
Yes, thank you, Nikhil, for starting the introduction of this program. So this referral a friend program, for every successful referral, you will get $400 US dollar. This is our promotion for this quarter. You will get $400 US dollar if you refer a friend, and your friend will get $100. Once they take their loan. To refer a friend, please visit our refer a friend page. Our chat moderator will share so they already shared the link here. And so go to the page and create your unique referral link or code. and have your friend use your link code to submit an loan application with MPOWER. Once your friend's application gets approved and they accept, you will receive $300 in reward. And once the loan is dispersed, you will get extra $100. So total, you get $400. And once your friend takes a loan, and they will get $100 in rewards too. You do not need to be an MPOWER customer to refer friends. There's also no limit on how many referrals you can make. The second one I want to introduce to you is a merit-based scholarship program. We offer scholarships with awards of up to $10,000 per student. In addition, each month, we also host a contest where you can win a share of $3,000 in scholarship awards. You also do not need to be an MPOWER Loan customer to apply, and each scholarship have their own criteria and deadlines. Please check the scholarship page to know more. We want to help you to succeed even after you graduate. So we offer this P2S, Path to Success program to help you in job search, immigration resources, and money management. This is free for all of our loan customers. Once your loan application is dispersed, you will receive a welcome email to enroll in this program. So that's all. We can end the screen share. Yeah, last but not least, I want to ask Nikhil, Suryaveer, and Rini each use 1 minute to give us some advice to our aspiring international students. Let's start with Suryaveer.
Thank you, Claire. So my advice to everyone who are looking for international educational and as well as for loan is to plan your financials in advance. I know that having a visa interview and getting an admission, it all happens within a certain timeline, and at that moment you are not sure what to go ahead and how to handle your finances. So if you have certain universities in mind that you would like to apply for, just take out all the financial requirements there and plan it better so that you can apply if you need a loan with MPOWER in advance, and we can guide you accordingly. Thank you.
Thank you, Suryaveer. How about Rini?
Sure. So I already spoke about the timeline, so I'm just going to give one advice on submitting your loans. So whatever information that you provide on your MPOWER loan application, you only provide the ones for which you have a document for. So the accurate information that you provide and you have a matching document, the quicker the response from MPOWER on your application. So planning is the key. But when you're planning, plan for the documents. Keep those documents with you when you are submitting your application. It's a very friendly application which completes within 30 minutes, but the planning to get to that level would take some time. So plan in advance.
Thank you, Rini. How about Nikhil? What's your final tips?
Yes. So as Surya and Rini was mentioning about planning ahead, so that is very related to me as well, because I started planning 8 to 9 months ahead, and I would suggest all the students to sort your financial things as early as possible. And once you get the admits or once you plan to go for the study abroad destinations, so start well ahead with any kind of loan applications, but make sure you are ahead of your steps. That's what I wanted to tell. And not to be in a rush at the end moment.
Yes, plan ahead. Thank you, Nikhil. And thank you all for joining me today for an application walkthrough with MPOWER.